Once, this little girl down the street asked me through song, "Do you want to build a snowman?" I stated, "We live in Florida and the average annual snowfall here is a little more than a picometer. Therefore, even if I desired to make a snowman, it would be impossible." The little girl started to sob. Her mother rolled up a newspaper and started to chase me throughout the neighborhood. Frozen is Disney's newest mega franchise that the company itself created. The movie is a worldwide phenomenon with a global box office of over $1 billion, a treasure trove of merchandise, and long lines for Anna and Elsa meet and greet at Disney parks. It still consists of a very affectionate fan base. In 2016, Walt Disney Company rebranded the log flume ride in the Norway Pavilion at Epcot to Frozen. Currently, it is one of the most popular rides at that park. In fact, the company plans on building a variation of the ride at every non-Anaheim theme park with a whole Frozen land in both Hong Kong and France. Right now, Frozen is Disney's most remunerative properties. The film itself was released in 2013 with a cast of Kristen Bell, Idina Menzel, Jonathan Groff, and Josh Gad. Each of them have been involved with Broadway musicals before. Jennifer Lee made her triumphant debut with this film with the help of Surf's sub-director, Chris Buck. The film claims that it is an adaptation of The Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen. Although many elements from the story show up in Frozen, calling it an adaptation would be like calling Ford vs. Ferrari an adaptation of the fable Tortoise and the Hare. I personally found Frozen a showpiece of beautiful visuals, songwriting, singing, and plot development. Personally, I liked the Hans plot twist because it demonstrates the fallacy of being too trustworthy. I also found it hilarious that the Arendelle populace was willing to allow their rightful homegrown superpower ruler to be executed by foreigners. This would be like Earth siding with Zod over Superman in Man of Steel. It only made sense for a sequel to be released, which brings us to today's subject, Frozen 2. Walt Disney Company decided to bring back the same crew and most of the cast. After all, if it is not fragmented, why fix it? Anna, Elsa, Kristof, Sven, not that one, and Olaf return. They are the only major characters in this film. There are new characters, but they seem to glorified cameos. These new characters have zero influence on the plot or the audience. Only the returning characters have any real ascendancy. There are many good points to this film. Visually speaking, this is a spectacle. In the 25 years of computer-animated three-dimensional films, you will never see such a polychromatic film with fluid animation. Every atom per frame is pulchritudinous. Leaves, water, snow, clothing, buildings, and rock look lifelike. Although not as good as the first film, the music and songs are very enjoyable. Walt Disney Animation has outdone themselves here. A year ago, many spectators got aggravated with me and this YouTube channel for ripping apart Wreck-It Ralph 2. I know many people have already hit that dislike button, even before I mention the negatives. However, kindly hear my rationalization before you denote your vexation with my opinion. Also, I will give spoilers. The biggest weakness with Frozen 2 is the story. Wow, you never allowed me to share my perspective. This film could have benefited with an actual living villain. The closest we got to a cat was King Wu-Unir, played by Jeremy Sisto, who was Anna and Elsa's grandfather. He built a dam and started a war with the Aboriginals. The only problem is that he has been dead for 38 years before the opening credits of this film. A nemesis could have given his films more focus instead of diverging off into a bunch of inconsequential subplots. One useless story arc was Kristof's. He was failing at proposing to Anna the whole movie. Every time, He looked like a cat chasing a laser dot on a wall. Also, and his obliviousness to it will make you pull the hair off your body. A lobotomized some deer would tell her to get a clue. Kristof gave a 1980s love ballad music video out of nowhere. His existence in the plot was utterly pointless. Olaf didn't annoy me in the first film. Apparently, Disney said, "Hold my beer." He was very exasperating here. In the first film, the less they used him the better. They should have stayed in that mindset. He retells the first film, which they do twice. There is good news though. Olaf gets Thanos snapped out of this movie quite literally. Elsa's arc was quite enthralling. This was the story's best element. Elsa follows a voice, chases the wind, rides an awesome horse made from water, goes into Superman's Fortress of Solitude, and enters the room from Matrix Reloaded without the pretentiousness. There she learns the mission, which Anna has to complete. This leads me to my final complaint. The film's conclusion undoes every lesson of the first film. Elsa abandons her responsibilities again to her incompetent sister. I'll stop the spoilers there. Watch it and you will see. There will be a Frozen 3. So, why didn't the filmmakers go full Empire Strikes Back? They should have left one of the sisters in cryogenics and destroyed Arendelle. It would have left a larger impact on the audience of all ages. This was a completely wasted opportunity. Overall, I do like Frozen 2. However, it is in no way as good as the first one. Purposeless plot threads and Olaf really tarnished the viewing. Missed opportunities kept this film from turning the franchise into a true saga. With that said, the visuals, songwriting and Elsa's story really did carry the day. It was much better than Wreck-It Ralph 2. I am giving this film a grade of a B. Now, I must figure a way to get past an angry mob. Until then, I'm young.